played in every game this season so far, and that's kind of been where he's been after 7 or 8 years for Tottenham. If he's fit, plays. Given he's 32, and now you've got a European campaign, is that sustainable that he can?
No, and I think I think unfortunately for us, not unfortunately, but I would have wanted to ease his sort of workload this early part of the year, but like I said, we lost Richie, then we lost Dominic, then we lost Wilson, and again, invariably in football, sometimes it's not the amount of injuries, it's the kind of injuries you get. So he's played more than I think I certainly want him to, and the idea, I mean, like I said, signing Dom and bringing in Wilson and extending Timo's loan was that we could sort of give him manage his load, because he's got international football as well a little bit better, and it's something that I'm mindful of. It's just the circumstances so far, and Sonny always wants to play. I mean, that's his attitude, but we've got to be sensible about it. And I don't think it's got to do so much with his age, because I haven't seen that affect him. It's more, I just don't think that kind of workload in the modern game is sustainable. You need to, we've spoken a lot about fixture overload. Well, and I think I said last week that part of that responsibility, I guess, lies with us whilst the calendar is like this, to try and protect our players, and certainly with Sonny we're going to have to be mindful of that.
And like you say, he would be of the mindset to want to play at home. So have you spoken with him about how together you can manage it rather than you just making decisions, or is it something you just do on your own?
Yeah, no, I tend to not make decisions by consensus. I think it gets a bit murky out. Yeah. No, I know what you're saying, but I think when you've got a player like Sonny, I think, I've had experience with guys like that before. They're always just going to want to play. And do I want to dull that competitiveness by having a reasoned discussion over him, with a cup of tea and saying, Sonny, this is going to be great for you, great for me? No, I'd rather I leave him out and he's disappointed with me, because I think that's what you want in him. And sometimes, it's like doing something for somebody's own good. I just think, that's my decision, my responsibility. I've got to take that on board.
And is there, just finally on this, is there a challenge therefore for the rest of the team and the squad to cope without him, because he's such an influence, not just as a player but as the character as well, and the leader on the pitch? Is there a challenge there for you to cope without him?
Well, I think there's an opportunity there, yeah, because I think that's what you want to try and create. I mean, it's why we've got this leadership group, is to see, well, who can step up in that kind of scenario, because it will happen from time to time. And I think that was a pleasing thing last night, that sort of, when he went off, Vic took the armband and he almost seemed to relish that kind of responsibility to grow. And sometimes you don't see these things unless there's opportunity. So there's definitely an opportunity there for us to show that we can sort of still be the team we want to be, even though he may not be involved as much.
Tom? Ange, back to what you were saying about the spinning of the wheel and the pressure. Maybe you had a bit of it earlier this season. It feels like Everton Hag has it every week, which must be quite tricky to deal with, always being the eye of the storm. Can you give us an insight into what it's like to cope with that kind of scrutiny 20%?
Oh, look, it's hard for me to say, because I think everyone sort of deals with it differently, but it is just, you have to understand that it's just, part of your existence these days as a manager. I mean, I don't know, coined the phrase that said it's the impossible job, but I think it's become even more impossible now, because it seems like, success is not enough if it doesn't have identity. Identity is not enough unless it's followed by, aesthetics. Aesthetics are not enough unless it's followed by legacy. There's always another layer that's, it seems like no one's doing a good job, unless you win the comp, and at the end of the year there doesn't seem to be any sort of understanding of progress or the circumstances that people have to work under at times. But it's just the nature of the role. So I don't think that's going to change. So I guess it's how you respond to it, how you react to it, how you let it affect you. I think the more experience you have, the better maybe you deal with these things. Although, maybe a young manager who's growing up in this maybe deals with it even better than somebody who's like me, sort of come through different eras of how managers are assessed.
And you mentioned about him winning a trophy in the last 2 seasons. People keep telling you that it's what you need to do. I mean, you've often consistently said it's about creating sustainable success where the team can compete at the top level. It's not just about winning a trophy. I mean, Man United, in a way, a bit of an example of that because they have won a trophy the last few years, and yet it's not like a cure to all ills, is it? He's constantly under pressure anyway.
Well, yeah, and I think if Eric hadn't have won anything last year, they'd be saying, he's just got to win something and everything will be all right. But I don't know. It's probably why I rail against it, because it's a trap you can fall into, to thinking, all I have to do is win something and everyone's going to love me and everyone's going to think I'm doing a great job. But like I said, that doesn't exist. I think that's why, I keep saying the focus is try and build a group that can have the opportunity for sustainable success. I think you need to do that because success isn't guaranteed. But if you can create something that gives you the opportunity for it on a year-on-year basis, then I think you've got more chance of kind of creating a period where the club can sort of undeniably see itself as a contender.
And just finally, Timo, who asked about him earlier, I think he made his debut against Man United last season. He's someone that, I think some of the fans can be a bit dismissive of his talents. I mean, you clearly backed him a minute ago. Why do you think he is unappreciated?
Mate, I've got no idea. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, it's a lot of it's just sort of, groupthink these days of just people just. I don't know how many people actually watch. I think a lot of the opinions are just people who hear something and then pile on, and it becomes this. And how many actually watch? What they're giving an opinion on. Really detailed. So, if Timo's career ended tomorrow, he's had a hell of a career. Like, there's some substance there. It's not, so he's a good footballer. He's a good international footballer. He's had, scored goals at the highest level. So that's why we want him part of our group. Now, okay, at the moment, people say, well, he hasn't really made an impact this year, but he hasn't played a lot either. So let's assess him, after he's had a decent run of games. But I don't know, like, why people, like I said, it doesn't seem to be any grey area. It's kind of black and white. You're either great or you're useless. And again, I think if you end up responding to that kind of stuff, as an individual, you'll go nuts, mate.
The red card obviously dictated things yesterday, but the camera panned to Lucas Bergwall after he'd been taken off, and he looked like he had tears in his eyes. Have you had a chance to, or will you get a chance to speak to him and sort of say to him, it wasn't your night, but opportunities will come for you in a Tottenham shirt?
No, but I think, he'll know that. As I said before, we entrusted him with starting a really important game for us, so he knows how we feel about him. So it's a tactical decision. He was disappointed. I expect him to be disappointed, but as I keep saying, that's he's going to have plenty of moments like that in his career. It's always about how you respond to those things, how you grow from those things. And he was training this morning, mate, and he was flying. He was no problem, so he's all good.
And I just wonder, ahead of facing Manchester United, with these matches against traditionally the biggest clubs in the country, when you look at what you're doing with your project, are these sorts of matches quite good for you to judge as a barometer of how what trajectory you can now take?
Yeah, for different reasons. I mean, I think every game's a kind of chance to measure your progress. But yeah, I think when you play against a team like United at Old Trafford it's a good measure of sort of, because like I said, it's a unique experience of playing at such a venue with pretty vocal home support. So I think gives you an opportunity to see how the group's progressing under those kind of circumstances and against a good opponent. So, like I said, I think the barometer's always there every game. I think last night we learned a bit about ourselves as well, and we learn a bit about ourselves on the weekends. So I think every game gives you that opportunity.
Finish with Matt, please.
Right.
One more on Sonic, if I may. Do
You
you
may.
ever feel like asking him to stop playing for South Korea?
Oh, mate, no chance. No, because I think, again, I understand how important it is for him. I mean, we can look at these things in sort of just the cold, harsh light of, his club football will benefit if he doesn't play for his country, but one day he won't be able to play for his country, and the last thing I'd want is for him to have regrets that he missed out an opportunity to play as much as he could and represent it. So, but I think all these decisions are better off being left to the player themselves, because they know themselves, how they're feeling about their career. It doesn't matter how long you play for. The lifespan of a professional footballer is still fairly short in terms of how long you live your life. So that time you have, you want to try and get as fulfilled as you possibly can. You're trying to create as much of a basket of memories as you can, because one day you won't have that opportunity. So I would never be the one to say to him, look, for selfish reasons, for us as a club, it'd be great if you didn't play for your country. I just wouldn't do it.
Can I ask about Old Trafford as well?
Yeah.
Would you still feel like going to Old Trafford if the stadium was 500 yards to the left?
And not called Old Trafford? I don't know. Good question. I mean, I guess we went through it. And it's probably, I'm probably not the right person to ask. It's probably the question for sort of Tottenham supporters or Tottenham people to say, well, does the new stadium feel the same as the older? It's hard to say. I think the way football's going, there's an inevitability about it in terms of clubs, building new stadiums, just purely on, economics more than anything else. And you'd like to hope that within that context that it still maintains some of the magic that exists within, the old sort of stadium, the old arena. But no, hard for me to say, mate. Don't know.
I know you're busy on match day with more important matters, but do you go to these places, sort of look around and think, sort of breathe in the history?
Yeah, I do, definitely, mate. I keep saying I'm still a fan. I still love the game. So, I mean, anyone who's seen me will know that every time we go in a away venue, the first thing I do is walk out on the pitch before everyone's in the stadium, irrespective of what stadium it is. But obviously, certain ones have more significance. And I just for that moment, just do it, breathe it in, and say, well, one day I can sit back in my lounge chair and kind of think, I had to walk around, that stadium and hopefully have a good memory because we won. That's the main thing. But I still. I love the sense of history and tradition because it's what gave me my love of the game.
Which do you like best, Ange?
Which one?
Which do you like best? Which lived up to you?
The Maracana. We played Manchester United there when I was South Melbourne. Old stadium, like falling to bits, but just it was heaving by the time we got out there with fans and just thinking of the Brazilian team, the Pelé, and like just the games that have been played in there, and the fact that it hadn't been redone probably still had that history around it. It gave me goosebumps walking out there.
Which one of them exist anymore? Which like to come? Sorry.
Don't apologise, mate. A question without notice. I think for a game, maybe the old Wembley. Yeah, because again, I grew up watching FA Cups and stuff, and by the time sort of I got here, that was gone.
It's pretty hard.
Was it?
That really was bullying.
Yeah.
Toilets is like a stank.
Well, that's burst my bubble. I'll think of something else.
I don't know if you clarified this, but with Sonny, you said he was tired yesterday. Is it a specific injury or is it just tiredness?
No, he sort of felt fatigue sort of in his hamstring. That was the reason he went down. But, you know, whether that's an injury or just fatigue, we just got to wait and see.
Thanks, guys.
Good luck.
Thank you.
See you next week.